Hey everybody, Kevin here. Welcome to my nightmare. So right now I'm right in between jobs. I have a day or two just to clean up the shop, which I do every single time I finish a job. And I thought, well, I'm gonna clean up the shop. So I started yesterday, put about 4 or 5 hours in. Doesn't look like I did a damn thing, and I got right here. God, you know, I'm so sick of bashing my fingers on these clamps. They're all squished in there and too tight. I got spring clamps everywhere, and I got clamps and clamps and clamps. I even got the jaw clamps down here attached to it. Creates a pile of mess of dust and all sorts of crap. I made this probably 15 years ago out of scrap. I have a few pieces of scrap now, and I'm gonna make another one, and I'm gonna show you how I go about making it. Because I looked online, tried to buy a couple, and my neighbor's dog said, yeah, he tried to buy them, and it didn't work out because they're $200. They don't tell you how big they are. They don't tell you how many clamps it holds. And he says they're on wheels, and I don't want to be on wheels. I don't want to wheel these around. This is my clamp station, and that's what it's going to be. The little dog says, don't waste your money buying crap that will only hold like 20 clamps. I need something that's going to hold like 60. So I'm going to show you how to make a clamp rack today. I'm going to move all this crap over here. I'm going to remove all that from the wall. I'm going to take this and push it up. I'm going to bring this up to right about here. So we're going to get rid of all this mess. So on top of all that, we're going to take this pipe clamp rack over here. We're going to extend it down so it sits all the way. So this whole area will have better feng shui situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to show you how to make a new pipe rack like this and a new clamp rack like this. It won't cost $200, and it'll hold all sorts of kinds of clamps. And they said, thanks for watching. Welcome to my nightmare. All these clamps that I've collected over the years. And people say, you don't need much clamps. You don't need clamps. All you need is 5 clamps. Well, when you're clamping up, I don't know, 30, 40 doors at a time, you need clamps. So if you're only going to build little tiny boxes, then you don't need clamps. You just need tape. I need clamps. So I'm going to run to the store real quick, buy some parts, and I'm going to show you how to build yourself a pipe clamp and a regular old bar clamp rack. Here we go. I'm going to make one of these. So we're going to make something that looks just like this. It's going to be 10 inches by 28. And I'm going to do the same damn thing on the side. It works pretty good. Then we're just going to screw that to the wall. At least I could do something before I move all that crap. Make me feel like I'm doing something. Here we go. Oh, 34. Plenty long enough. All right, we're just going to cut this real quick. Okay, we'll do this really quick. I have these 2 pieces here, and then we're gonna screw it down just like that. It'll be beautiful. So I'm gonna put little angles on this guy. I'm just gonna use the miter gauge. So I'm gonna come right about here. As Squeaker says, it doesn't have to be beautiful. Just somewhere in there. I'm gonna make them both the same. Okay, I have this locked in at 45 degrees. I'm about a 1/4 inch away with the fence. Okay, there's that part. I'm gonna put a stop right here. That way when I go to cut these, they'll both be exactly the same. All my clamps are buried. We got the little guys. We're gonna use that little guy. So these 2 pieces of scrap are exactly the same width and length. Clamp that down. That way it butts right into there, and we're just gonna cut it just like that. So we're using a stop so we get the exact same cut every single time. You don't need to go buy an Incra to have something nice that works. Just something cheap. Okay, here we go. Identical pieces, right? Miter gauge, stop, identical pieces. It works pretty good. Okay. All right, so this is our back cleat, right? This is getting screwed on like this here. We've got to make some little slotty things in here, like something like this on that. My bandsaw's covered in clamps right now. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw them out. So from the back, we're gonna go 2 inches from the back. Okay, so from the back, Squeaker says we're making it 2 inches from the back. So that's good. I'll set my square to 2 inches and just put some lines here. So whatever these were, they seem to work good. And they're 2 inches also. All right, we have our piece cut. We came in 2.5 inches. We put 2-inch slot on either side. Now we're going to figure out what the middle is. I'd like to put at least three more slots in here. To do that, we're going to take the 19, and we're going to subtract 6, basically. 3 slots at 2 is 6. It gives us 13. We're going to take 13 and we're going to divide it by 4. Divided by 4 gives us 3 1/4. I want 3 slots, 1, 2, 3. That means we have to divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4. Get that? 4. That's how it works. From this side here, I should measure over 3 1/4. I'll do this kind of roughly here. 3 1/4. Put a line. Come over 2 inches, put an X. 3 1/4. 2 inches, put an X. 3 1/4. 2 inches. 3 inches. Doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be there so we can hang our damn clamps on them. Okay, there you go. All the ones with the X's we're cutting out. We're going to use our, I think we're just going to use our jigsaw. After I do that, I'll flip you back on and we'll assemble this thing really quick and we'll stick it to the wall and I'll start hanging clamps. And then we'll get to the next one because it's almost 5 and I got to get this done. All right, everybody, there you go. I made the letter E a couple of times. Or W. It's kind of rough and nasty. I just grabbed the old crappy router here. It's got a 1/4 inch round over bit in it. So I'm not going to put a 1/4 inch round over on it. I'm just going to like bring it up, I don't know, halfway up the damn thing. Just to ease the edge, because I don't really feel like sanding it. Really? Just going to hit this real quick. Going to hit the corners like this. So when you're out there throwing your pipe clamps around, that'll just keep you from smashing the living crap out of your fingers, or busting a knuckle if everything's just slightly eased. I'll go over here and assemble this damn thing. I started cleaning up the place and it made it worse. Back cleat is like that. We can screw it down from the top, which I probably will do. First, we're just going to kind of get this all centered in here. All right, oh, look at that. We're going to put this side out. It's nice and curly. Squeaker says get to it. We're running out of time. I only have 1-inch pins in this nail gun, but to save time, I'm just going to pin it real quick and then I'm going to screw it together. Right, it holds it in place. If you don't care what you're looking at, which for this I don't, this is not furniture, it's just utilitarian, right? Okay, that'll hold it in place. Now we're going to screw it together. What we're going to do is put some 1.5-inch screws in it. I'm just going to screw these in right above the pins, actually. Yeah, that little trick works good. Just holds it in place just until you get it all screwed in place. This end over here we want flush. Well, that's what I'm going to do. Hold that flush to the back. I'm going to hold this flush to the end here. Okay, a trick you can do if you're offset. See how this is offset right here? Just measure it. Add 3/8. So that would be 3/4 of an inch. Okay, and then we just tag it with a pin. It's all pinned in place, just sitting there ready to be screwed in place. There it is. Now let's see how it fits. It's just simple. Put the cleats on the side to help hold it up. You got a huge cleat in the back, so I could put, I don't know, 4 or 5 screws, 6 screws in there. A cleat on the other side. I'm going to screw this cleat to the wall. All right, last thing I'm going to do is take some 220 and just kind of ease this edge. Because I'm telling you, you don't think about it when you're putting clamps away, but if you smack your freaking knuckles on it and you start bleeding all over the place, you'll think about it and you're like, God, why didn't I do that when I had the chance? Done. All right, let's see. What do you think about that? That's about a good height. It's not too tall. I like it. Somewhere like that. Let's see. Does that look level to you? That's what we got this guy for. It's right on the money. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's the rack for the pipe clamps. It's all hung. So I'm going to put the big pipe clamps in the back here. I can just set them in there like that. So if you can't tell already, I use longer bar clamps more than I use shorter ones. There we go. Look at that. They're all in there. Singing beauty. All right, see that? They hold them up there. I just clamp them into place. That way they can't fall off. These are all clamped into place. You can put these ones in loose if you want, as long as the front one is tightened and clamped in there. Hey everybody, Kevin from the future. So last night my battery died in my microphone, and the last video I made trying to explain how to make these died out. And what we're trying to do is cut this angle using your table saw, and it's not really a hard thing to do. So let me explain it this way. I'm going to zoom you in over here, and we're going to use 2 pieces of wood. Hopefully they're big enough so you can see them. Let me do this. Okay, you guys ready? Here we go. All right, we have our piece of wood. We want to cut an angle on it on the table saw, right? And this works for solid pieces of wood, pieces of plywood, anything. Let's say you want to go from 0 to whatever. It doesn't really matter what it is. Let's say we want to cut that angle on the table saw. Here's the simplest, easiest way to do it. You get another board that's the exact same width and length. So if this board that you want to put the angle on was 3/4 of an inch thick and you had a piece of 1/4 inch plywood laying around, scrap or anything like that, you can use that. It doesn't have to be the same thickness, just the same width. Then what you do is you take double stick tape, set that down there and here, double stick tape that in place so it would look like that. Here, I'll do it. Hold on. All right, talk amongst yourselves here. Okay, so you get yourself some double stick tape. The double stick tape is just to hold it in place long enough for you to make a cut. Okay, you put that down, and now what you're going to do is you're going to take the same width board, place it on there like that. Follow your line, right? You're just following the pencil line the best you can. And then when you go to cut it, whatever this width is here, basically the width of this board, which is 4 5/8, you would set your table saw to 4 5/8. You're going to put this piece, the top piece, over and you're going to cut it just like this. Get it? That's the part you cut off. This is the top part. And now you have yourself an angled cut. That's how you go. That's the easiest way you can possibly cut a tapered board. And that's exactly how I did these. Hopefully I explained that. That's the easiest way I know how to taper a board without using a jig, really. I mean, it's a jig, but it's just a wide board. Use a little double stick tape. So hopefully that was helpful. All right, so what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna lay out all of the holes for these guys, and we're gonna drill them out using a Forstner bit, 1-inch Forstner bit, and then we'll start assembling this guy. It'll be awesome. All right, what I've done is I've laid this out according to the old one, and I added more spacing between here by a couple of inches. So we have both these pieces facing the same direction. I'm gonna butt them up against the fence here. I'm gonna double stick tape this into place. I'm gonna open these up like a sandwich. I literally just put this away and I'm like, as soon as I put it away, I'm like, oh God, really? So I'm gonna take a, I don't know, 2-inch piece. I'm gonna put it at the top. I'm gonna put one down here about 2 inches, 3 inches, whatever that is, at the bottom. So I got one down here. I know I can get to that. I can get to that with my putty knife. I could put one on this side, I guess, and we'll just do that. Put that on the outside edge. If you put them in the middle, they have a tendency to stick and you'll never get them off again. All right, so I'm gonna use my favorite tool ever. All right, so now that we got all that together, we're gonna lift these two up. At the bottom, I'm butting them into the fence and I'm just gonna close them together. Whoop, just like that. Give them a good little squeeze. There it is, they're stuck together. All these marks I have here, I'm gonna now set up on the drill press, drill a 1-inch hole, and I'm drilling straight through. The reason I'm using the drill press and not doing it by hand is because I want them pretty straight. Straighter than I can drill, because I'm old. And once I get that done, we'll start assembling it, we'll put it together. I'm gonna cut the pipe, and I'm gonna drill the ends and put a screw in each end so that it doesn't turn, so it's solid. I'm gonna put the feet on it, we'll put it in place, and we'll start stacking this thing up. So now we have all our holes. I'm gonna try to separate these guys here. This is the hard part. This putty knife is super duper sharp, and I still can't, like once I get, there we go. See if we can separate it. Ta-da! So we're gonna use the little tiny jaw clamps here to hold our parts up. I do this every time I build anything that has sides on it. I just kind of use this. Helps hold it in place. I don't have to worry about holding on to it, or you know what I mean? It like eliminates having to figure out how to hold stuff up. All right, we're gonna take this guy and put it right here. I have my square set to 3/8 of an inch, half the thickness of the plywood. And what we're gonna do now is just take our drill, come in here, put the drill bit right there, hold this in place, drill a hole. And we're gonna take our 1.5-inch screws and screw it in. Gotta get it going the right way first. Always have that problem. There it is, pretty simple, right? Tapered bit, 3/8 square, put it right on there, drill hole. I try to hold them up about 1 inch from the end. That way it doesn't split out, because it will split out on you. there's our clamp rack, minus the pipes that we got to put in here. So what we're going to do now is just take a measurement and make sure it's exactly what we want it to be. 40 inches is what we wanted, and that's what it is. I have to put 8-inch legs on this thing, but the first thing we're going to do is cut these pipes to 40 inches and put them in here. So now I'm going to take it to the disc sander and disc it a little bit. Now we need to clean out the inside because it's a little rough. So those bars look a little low, right? But here's the thing. It's going to get 8 inches added onto the bottom, so the 18s that are going to be on here are going to be hanging down pretty good. So that'll be all right. Now we got to figure out how to drill a hole in that damn thing. All right, now that we've got this pipe cut, we're going to try to drill a hole through it, right like this. Now see if I can get a screw in the damn thing. Look at that. All right, kind of worked. Okay, we're going to flip this guy around and see if we can drill another hole on the other side. Yeah, definitely have to tap it with something. All right, here we go again. Just that little tap really seems to help. All right, that's in there. You guys ready? Here we go again. I just cleaned up the shop and I have to clean it up again. All right, there it is. Now I'm going to put 8-inch legs on it. Let's raise this up to 56 inches, which is right about here. So I need 4 at 18.5. Write that down. All right, right here. 4 at 8 by 18.5. And we'll draw a little picture right here of what we want. All right, here we go. We got 4 of them. Here's what we're gonna do now. I think I'm gonna domino these onto the bottom here. I'll make them nice and strong. And I'll just screw these two together after the fact. I'm just gonna take this and we're going to put like 4 dominoes in here. All right, I'm gonna domino these in place. Here we go. So the size we're putting in there, 6 by 40. I'm not going to glue it or anything because it's just why. It'll hold itself in place. Okay, now that we got that like that, I'm going to take this, I'm going to hold it in place flush with the bottom by using these spring clamps. I'm going to put some screws in here first. That'll work. There it is, and that is nice and tight now. That was fun. What do I do with it? Now, you think you can buy something this big, this tall, this wonderful fun to make? So it's probably taken me about 5 hours to get to here. Cut it, rip it, including going and buy these guys for 20 bucks. If you had to make your own, you'd probably buy a sheet of plywood, which is, I don't know how much it is where you live, but a decent sheet would probably cost 50 bucks maybe. $20 for the pipe, so we're at 70 some odd dollars, plus your time, whatever that was worth. We're still under $200, right? Because for 5 hours, well, for 5 hours for me is a lot of money. But for, you know, for somebody who's doing it on the weekend and wants a place to put their clamps, here you go. Super simple, super easy to do. You screw it all together. You don't have to have too many complicated tools. I use the domino on the bottom because I have a domino machine and I can. I just wanted to use scrap, and all my scrap was 48 inches tall, so I just added legs to the bottom to make it where it is now. That way I don't have to bend over so much because I'm old. Let's hope it fits. There it is. I'm going to put a couple screws in it just to help hold it in place. Just to help hold it up in case we have an earthquake and it decides it wants to jump off the wall. There it is. So now I'm going to spend the next couple of hours figuring out where to put everything. It should go like this. 18, 24, 30, up here, 36. That's how it should go. All of my clamps, I put a number on them. Okay, so I can tell what the hell it is. 30 inches goes where the 30s go. Look at that. That way, even if they're in the wrong spot, you know exactly where they are. We got the clamp rack made. I hung most of the clamps. And for all those people who think you only need 5 clamps to do any kind of woodworking, You're wrong. That's not enough. I still have space. I could buy more. When you first start out woodworking, here's what you need. You need 18-inch, a 24-inch, and a 36-inch clamp, a couple of each. And these guys. These are the Jorgensen ones. And you can tell by the orange, what kind of clamps do I like? You see the color scheme here? Orange, Jorgensen. There's a couple red, a couple of the Bessies. Here's a couple Bessies right here. They're not as strong as the Jorgensen. I try to buy what I find is the best. It works the best, works the smoothest. This part of my shop is back in order now. So this cost me $22 for the pipe, and it took me about 4.5 or 5 hours to cut out the pipe up, screw everything together, and film this, and at the same time as shooting it. I'm 6'2", and look how big this thing is. So we have a clamp rack that's 56 inches tall, 40 inches wide. And then I made a new one of these pipe racks up here too. So we have a pipe rack clamp up here. We made this all in 5 hours, let's say, and $20 in materials that I had to buy, and the rest was made out of scrap. And there goes my dogs barking again. It's shop cleanup week. Now I gotta go see what they're barking at. All right, everybody, you have an awesome day. Go outside and play, hug somebody you love, be safe out there, and I'll see you next time right here on Woodworking with Mr. Kevin. Have an awesome day.
Subscribe now.
I didn't wear this shit. Squeaker says you're gonna have to move that crap. Forethought would have been good. Oh, I'm gonna pile this crap here, right? Damn it. You think you're smart and you're freaking stupid as hell. Yeah, well, there's always that. The best laid plans and you still gotta move a bunch of crap. Ugh.